Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today you're gonna see the first tutorial on how to make 3D blooms. These are two examples that I have so far. So what is critical in making blooms like this is that the resin, after it's been mixed, component A and component B, it has to sit. And it has to sit for different durations. It depends on the resin. What is critical is that it reaches a certain viscosity in order to be able to hold the pigment from dispersing all the way. So another way to gauge a sense on whether the resin is ready or not, you can feel it, that it's hand warm, or more accurately with a thermometer, it has to reach a temperature that is close to 104 degrees or 40 degrees Celsius. That's not to say that it's not going to work sooner. In these two examples I didn't measure the temperatures accurately, but for example, for the sunflower here, the resin set for 30 minutes before applying the bloom. And in this other example, the resin set for 1 hour, and you can see that it still bloomed. However, not to the extent that you see in the other, in the sunflower example. If it sits for way too long, then the pigment is not going to move at all. So there's a sweet spot between too early, when the pigment will just fall to the bottom and just become a blob, and too late when it's not going to move at all. So let's see what we're getting now. The time is kind of running out on me. So I already poured resin into the coaster from this same batch that I showed you. And I'm just going to do a little bit of, well, let's start from the middle. We're going to do a drop of red in the middle. A little bit of orange as the second color. And yellow on the outside. Okay, let this work a little bit, and meanwhile I will prepare the white pigment paste. What I am using is Ocean White, the resin pigment that is the same that you would be using to make ocean waves. This doesn't have to be a lot. I'm just going to prepare here a little bit for the swirl. And this will be plenty. And this literally just takes, I don't know how well you can see, but this will definitely do it. So it's going to sink to the bottom. Therefore, it's important to swirl it really, really well and disperse it. This is already, like, by the touch, it's already pretty warm. And people do this differently. They either freehand it, or you can put it in a piping bag, whichever one works better for you. I found that freehanding doesn't work really well in my hands, because I tend to get blobs. So I definitely can dispense the pigment more accurately with a piping bag, which is what I'm gonna do now. So I just cut a piping bag for icing. The pigment now, it's a homogeneous paste. Let's see, just out of curiosity, it feels warm. Let's see what it is at right now. It still looks like 100, 101, 102. So by the time we're in the bag and ready to apply, it will already be there. Okay. It should be good. I will secure it with a clip. And cut a very small slit with the scissors. So now I'm just gonna test to see if a drop that's being dispersed stands on its own and it doesn't spread. And that's when you kind of know that it's ready. I know I don't have too good of a contrast here to showcase. I will invest in more in better equipment for this. Just gonna give this a swirl. And now let's see the pattern. Start with one drop in the middle, and then I'm just gonna try to go around, applying even pressure. I'm just gonna go with a heart shape, which I've been meaning to do today. I saw it in one other tutorial and it looked really pretty. So let's see what happens in my hands. We're just gonna keep going in circles until we hit the outside. One thing you want to be mindful about, you have to have a really flat surface, otherwise the center of your flower will shift. In this house we barely have any flat surface to where I'm not getting this, so this is the first time I'm working on this other table too, where it's less obvious that things are not 100% horizontal. It might be that even like one of the measuring tools tells you that, you know, the bubble is in the middle and everything is perfectly aligned, but in reality, when you start pouring your resin, you'll learn that it's not. So that's when it becomes tricky to get, like, you know, perfect little piece. And I have a hair that I need to remove. Okay. I see that the pigment is already starting to migrate, so I know this piece is gonna bloom. If you see, it starts to dispense, and that's what I'm talking with the horizontal surface. You can see how the center is drifting. So this will be a little bit problematic, but let's finish up here. And the paste, it becomes like also really hard to squeeze out now, so this was probably a little bit of a later start than desirable. It's still gonna create an effect. We'll see how good it turns out. Okay, and let's just stop here. So now I'm just gonna, well, it's hard to tell what the center is for this one since it has moved so much. Let's try to how can I rescue this? Okay, let's see how this turned out. I kind of loosened it up already. Whoa, check it out. So you probably didn't see well, but there was glitter that I used. Glitter sinks to the bottom, so that's why it's so much of it on the top of the flower, on the bottom of the flower if you want, and on the other side you can see the black side that it has a significantly less amount than on the front, but altogether very pretty effect, very nice flower. Enjoy.